how is this anger impacting our lives?
Mhm.
What are the dangers you see here?
Well, to begin with, there is a breakdown of relationships as anger impacts our social skills. Be it at the workplace or at home, anger makes many relationships toxic. It often leads to poor communication skills, and the potential for meaningful collaboration is sacrificed, which is a big issue in most of our relationships, because that's preventing us from going and working towards common objectives and common interests. This leads to business impacts for sure, especially when people and organizations are wasting precious time resolving conflicts. You remember that study that I was mentioning?
Right.
That was done in Europe, Brazil, and US. 9% of the respondents mentioned that they have seen conflicts escalating to the point of project failures.
And people kind of are not even, acknowledging that.
Absolutely. You may do your wonderful root cause analysis and Pareto charts and all of that till the cows come home.
And ignore the 9%.
Yeah, and ignore the basic trigger points and probably go around fixing other things. So if it is not addressed properly, it leads to employee exits, which can also be very costly and damaging to any organization. In fact, there are statistics that replacing a high-performing employee would require almost 150% of the annual salary.
150%.
Yes, that's a staggering amount to be putting in.
And I can actually relate to it at workplace.
Right.
The stress levels, if you see at workplace, are like, kind of going through the roof.
Absolutely.
People may feel frustrated, demotivated, nervous. A lot of them complain about they are experiencing lack of sleep,
Right.
digestive disorders, and withdrawal symptoms. A lot of them complain about hypertension and diabetes. This is actually overall leading to poor health. If you look in office on an average, you will see lot of people falling in that category where they are finding excuses for the poor health.
Very true. In fact, I would say anger is a killjoy of sorts. When you allow anger to fester for too long, it is difficult to find happiness. No doubt about that.
Very true.
You tend to ignore the positives in life and focus excessively on what is wrong and out of order, because that's what is taking up most of your time and energy. The other impact is poor decision making skills. When anger isn't channelized properly, it's no one's case that don't get angry. That's the silliest thing people can say. What's important is how well are we able to channelize the anger and resolve the underlying issues.
Right.
Somewhere I get this sense that the drama around anger has taken away the complete focus. People are prone to making mistakes and poor choices when they are angry or exposed to angry environments or triggers. And here we are celebrating anger as some go-getter shortcut.
Right.
So it's so clear that anger may cloud our skills of evaluation, our skills of judgment, and especially when we are seeing too much of negativity and cynicism going around. In some cases, this is even impacting our ability to take risks, to innovate, to try out creative ideas and solutions.
Yeah, we want to avoid even small mistakes.
Yes.
And probably due to that, we even lose out on the learning curve.
Very true, very true.
And probably when a bigger crisis hits us, we are no longer sure how to respond.
Yes, because our programming has kind of got a bit mixed up.
Right, very interesting.
Yeah. And the other impact is of personality disorders. When you do not perceive that your anger and temper tantrums are causing damage to you, that's the height of self-awareness, lack of self-awareness. When you don't recognize the huge cost or high price of your temper tantrums, you start believing that your behavior is quite okay
Right.
over a period of time, and I'm not talking weeks and months here, but over years and decades, you start developing serious personality disorders because now this is seeped into your system so thoroughly and you're brought into it completely. At a later stage, it becomes difficult to make any change happen. And you will also pay a very high price at some point in time. For instance, I know senior leaders with personality disorders who have taken stupid decisions with huge ramifications and impacts for not just their immediate circle but across the organization. And if you go back and with honesty, if you can dig and find what are the underlying causes, are we having the guts, are we having the courage to face the truth that some of these personality disorders are getting triggered by some of these habits that we have developed by glorifying and celebrating anger rather than channeling anger for better outcomes. That's the point I would like to put across.
Very interesting, very interesting. And now, when we are talking about it,
Yeah,
and we have realized like how big the issue is really
true.
in terms of health of a person, in terms of social skills, even in terms of cost in the business.
Absolutely.
So we are looking at all the perspectives or all the sections of life where we are getting impacted by anger.
Yeah.
So how do you think we actually handle anger?
The channeling of anger that I
Right.
was mentioning.
Right.
So let me put across a simple framework which I think will be easy to practice, especially when you are very angry. So how do we handle anger? I would propose a two-pronged approach to anger management. One is to recognize and the second is to handle. As simple as that.